Well, good viewers and listeners in the distant future, when historians look back upon this era, the 2010s will be remembered for three things: the rise of the social justice warrior, calling the boss baby, and annual Call of Duty games. COD is a particularly polarizing entity, as it's one of the best-selling game franchises of all time, yet it seems to be universally hated. How is that possible, you ask? Well, let's dive right in and find out! Post-haste! COD started out as a fairly well-respected PC-exclusive shooter back in 2003. But it wasn't until 2007's Call of Duty 4 that the series would become a household name. Modern Warfare was a major turning point for the series, as it was the first to be set in the present day. With groundbreaking graphics and sound, tight controls, and well-designed multiplayer maps, it set the standard for multiplayer FPS and brought things like perks and kill streaks into mainstream gaming. It also had a compelling single-player campaign with Hollywood-caliber writing and acting, provocative themes like the exploitation of the Chernobyl disaster, and the deaths of pretty much all the main characters. Oh, spoilers! From this point on, every game in the series would follow a similar template of a competitive multiplayer suite, chock full of perks and kill streaks, paired with a blockbuster action movie-style campaign. The formula has met with varying degrees of success over the years and has rarely ventured too far from the Modern Warfare blueprint, particularly with the multiplayer, which aside from the addition of double jumps, wall running, and a few new abilities, is pretty much the same shit that we've had since 2007. With every entry, each new campaign tries to outdo the previous with increasingly over-the-top set-piece battles, locations, and zany characters.
Fuck!
Even going so far as to cast celebrities in roles, including such A-listers as Jon Snow, Meryl from Walking Dead,
Let's blow it.
Jimmy Fallon, that guy from Law and Order who says, like 100 times, Kimbo Slice, a roid-raging Trent Reznor.
It's a shame. He was a good man.
Oh wow, Barack Obama! They really spared no expense. So where did it all go wrong? Well, if you believe the internet, it's when Kevin Spacey put you in an exosuit.
But that just isn't the case.
I think it started well before that. Now I know anytime you say anything either good or bad about COD these days, you're bound to get an emotional response. So before any of you diehards out there try to call me out as an uninformed hater or Battlefield fanboy, here's my service record from COD 4. As you can see, I've played more than enough COD over the years to form an opinion, so if you don't share my views on its faults, good for you! To be honest, I'm kinda jealous. I wish I still enjoyed COD as much as I used to. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to why Call of Duty fucking sucks! If you ask me, the real reason so many people hate this series is because it's so damn inconsistent, particularly in the competitive multiplayer. I'm talking about things like inaccurate hitboxes, terrible spawns, inconsistent time to kill with the same gun from the same distance, annoying perks, annoying kill streaks, annoying players, ridiculous auto-aim, etc. And most of these things seem to be getting worse with each installment instead of better. True, many if not all of these flaws have been present from day one, but were often offset or covered up by the excellent map design and general good balance of the older games. Moving to an annual release schedule took away that time the developers used to spend perfecting things, which in turn meant lazier map design, which leads to bad spawns, which leads to more annoying kill streaks. You see where this is going?
Fuck!
So, do all these things make COD a bad game? Well, in the grand scheme of things, no. Compared to actually bad games from the same time periods, Call of Duty looks like a goddamn masterpiece. But when compared to other contemporary AAA shooters, does Call of Duty suck? Well, it depends on what aspect of the game we're talking about. If you're only in it for the multiplayer, then yeah, I'd say it sucks. The inaccurate hitboxes are exacerbated by the low health and fast pace of the gameplay, and the developers' seeming disinterest in addressing much lamented things like camping and quickscopes make for a frustrating experience all around, especially when you see how bad you got screwed in the kill cam. Oh, what the fuck? But if you come mainly for the single player in search of an action movie-like cinematic experience, you'll likely leave fairly satisfied, as few games do set pieces as well as the COD series does. The annoyances of multiplayer are all but non-existent in the campaign, and the graphics and voice acting are usually top-notch.
You owe me a ride.
You owe me a race.
I said usually! So there you have it, our cop-out non-answer. Alright, I'll give you a real answer. Up until Infinite Warfare, I would have said COD was overall still a good game. I found every COD campaign in the past 10 years at least decent, with the exception of Ghosts, of course. I'd even go so far as to say that I thoroughly enjoyed some of them, like Black Ops 3. Fuck yeah! Even the multiplayer in most entries was usually alright for a few hours of entertainment, as long as you didn't take it too seriously. But Infinite Warfare just felt tired on all fronts, and it was more by the numbers than usual. Oh, and don't even mention Salter.
They'll be demoted. I'm taking orders from me.
Fuck you! So, will a return to boots on the ground style gameplay be enough to save the franchise from its much speculated demise? I mean, that was the only thing wrong with the game, right? Oh dear. At this point, they're gonna need to do a lot more than eliminate double jumps and wall running to win me back. When I'm getting 360 no-scoped with hitboxes a mile wide, followed up by 15 chopper gunners, I don't care if I'm floating in outer space or standing on a beach in Normandy. It's still gonna be fucking annoying. Speaking of which, I especially don't have any interest in slogging through yet another campaign set in WW2. I already have enough bad memories from that war as is. You may remember that I enjoyed the console beta for WW2 last month, but by the time the PC beta came out, I was already pretty tired of the new war mode, which was the only major change to the game. And once you settle back into that familiar old rhythm, you start to notice all the same old annoyances. Everything else about it feels just like all the World War II COD games of the past, which have already been done to death. I'd have been much more interested in revisiting Nam. Oh boy, da-dang! I had some good times there. As of now, I'd count myself firmly in the COD sucks camp, but I'm not going to write the series off permanently. I still think it can be saved, and it doesn't need to be burnt to the ground and rebuilt from scratch in order to do so. The core gameplay is still solid and enjoyable when done right, and when they put their mind to it, COD games can produce audio and visuals that are second to none. A good starting point would be to lay off the annual releases and focus on quality over quantity. Take the time to fix the shitty hitboxes, spawns, and other annoyances I mentioned, and give us a game set at least close to the modern day, with a compelling campaign, well thought out multiplayer maps, and real life weapons that feel satisfying to shoot. I mean, isn't that what drew us all to Call of Duty in the first place? If they can pull all that off, I'm confident that one day COD will become a less offensive acronym than SJW. Oh God. Till next time, fare thee well, fuckers! If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment and a like. It helps us get more exposure on the YouTubes. And while you're at it, why not subscribe? We put out shit like this every week.